Guys, today we're going to talk about the Mercedes EQE interior. The interior of the EQE is nearly identical to the EQS in terms of design, but there is still really no getting away from the fact that the design of the interior is simply stunning. From the interior ambient LED strip that runs across the dashboard into the door to the air conditioning vents that look like mini jet engine turbines, the interior looks both futuristic and technologically advanced while preserving the traditional unmistakable Mercedes-Benz interior feel and aesthetics. Many cars these days allow you to change a variety of different colors from your interior ambient lighting, but Mercedes takes it to a whole new level with their latest EQ products. They've implemented active interior ambient lighting that allows the lights to have patterns and flash different colors depending on the situation. For example, if a car is in your blind spot and you indicate that you're about to change lanes, the active lighting function will flash in red to notify you that a car is in your blind spot. Mercedes products for the past couple of years have been praised for their attention to details in their interiors, but the new EQ products of the EQE and the EQS takes the attention to details to a whole new level. When you look closely at the bits of textures from the door pockets to the seating material, you could just see just that bit more detail and definition. The extra precision and clarity in the definition of material is almost like comparing 4K to 1080p. If your goal is to impress your friends with a car that looks expensive, well, look no further. There is an enormous optional Hyperscreen which extends from side to side that really makes you feel like you're in a car of the future. But I also heard that it is an $8,000 or more option. At that price, I'm really not sure if it's worth purchasing because you really don't get any extra functionality. It's purely just a bigger screen. If you don't get the Hyperscreen, then the infotainment system will look similar to the current S-Class, which looks fine if you ask me. Also, if you drop something on the screen and it cracks, I can't imagine how much it's going to cost to repair. Maybe you might get a bit more interior room in the front without the screen real estate without the Hyperscreen option as well. The backseat of the EQE is where potentially there may be a problem for buyers of this segment. When you buy a EQE or an E-Class, it's most likely you have a family or you need to transport more than 2 people regularly. The E-Class, and I can vouch for this because I've owned a few in the past as well, has always had very comfortable rear seats because of the great headroom and legroom. But from some of the reports I've seen, it seems like that people taller than 6 feet may be a bit tight for headroom. They have to place their head into the cutout of the panoramic roof. That's a bit of a disappointment when you're talking about the E-Class version of EVs. All E-Classes going back at least 3 generations, the W213, W212, and the W211, have all had plenty of headroom for people taller than 6 feet. Also, Mercedes said that the EQE has a conventional trunk instead of a sportback liftgate design because it allows for more headroom. I can't help but imagine how compromised the headroom would be if it had a sportback liftgate just like the EQS. With that being said, however, the legroom is certainly impressive for the exterior dimension of the car. It does have more legroom than the E-Class and the CLS. The color, trim, and material combination gives a warm yet modern aesthetic feel that is familiar to any habitual Mercedes buyers. The only thing that slightly concerns me is how well put together the interior of the EQE will be. That's not something you can find out from watching videos and pictures. Mercedes interiors for the past few years have had great designs, but they don't seem to be assembled with the sturdiness and the tight feel compared to their competitors from BMW or Audi. What I mean by this is when you press against the interior plastic, does it squeak? When you press against some trims, does it bend when it's not supposed to? Out of the 4 premium German brands, Mercedes interior build quality seems to be the lowest out of all. I really hope this won't be the case for their new EV vehicles. This is something that a lot of customers don't take into account and is extremely important. Do you want your luxury EV to start squeaking every time you drive over a rough pavement or speed bumps? That's what a poorly assembled interior might do. The rear trunk space, however, is quite usable, but not as large as I was hoping it would be given as how big the EQS's trunk space was. If you compare the EQS's trunk space to the Porsche Taycan, it is definitely considerably more useful because it is much deeper, but compared to the Model 3, which is a car that will be probably 30 to 40% cheaper than the EQS, the Model 3 has a more spacious and usable trunk with a secondary trunk underneath that is much more spacious than what the EQE offers. Overall, the EQE interior dimensions are well executed. It is not exactly class-leading in any specific area, but overall, as a package, it will be more than capable for its purpose as a mid-sized family sedan that can comfortably seat 4 individuals while offering decent practicality and trunk space. Alright, that pretty much sums up my EQE interior. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.